Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and today we'll be doing a review of the trending movie Straw, written, produced and directed also by one of the greatest in the industry, Tyler Perry. Yes, most of us know who Tyler Perry is. There's no need of giving us an intro. At least if you don't know him at all, you would know the movie Acrimony. He was the one who wrote, directed and produced that movie also. Now, at this point, I want us to look at the movie Straw. It's been one of the most trending movies right now on many TV screens, many tablets and phone screens. The movie is currently on Netflix, so you can go to Netflix and see the movie. So I chose to do a kind of review on the movie so far. I haven't watched the movie. I think I saw the movie 2 weeks ago, and after analyzing the movie, I felt I should give my own review based off of what I've been seeing online. A lot of people have had their own sentiments about the movie. People have said this and that. Some persons have analyzed the movie, but I felt it would be nice for me to also give my own view of the movie. So let's walk this road together. Join me as we see the snippet of this movie.
I got put out today. We have nowhere.
I just want to do what's right for my baby.
This isn't just another story. It's a storm of betrayal, faith, and choices that can't be undone. In a world spinning with secrets, who can you trust? What if the greatest danger was the one you never saw coming? This is not the trailer they showed you. This is the truth behind the scene. Welcome to Daybreak Reviews, where movies speak and we listen. Let's break this one wide open.
Is this bad, Julia? We need to figure this out. I don't want you to get hurt.
This is about giving her a chance.
Alright guys, so once again, Tyler Perry has given us something to think and talk about. We know that is Tyler Perry's style. He never ceases to give us something to talk about. Like one of his movies, Acrimony, that a lot of persons love so much. That movie had a lot of talking points, and he has brought that same feel into this movie, Straw. And I think one of the relatable things about this movie was that he used the same lead actor or lead actress he used in that movie and brought her into this movie, and it gave this movie kind of feel that everybody really wants to watch and see what happened. And his usual style of bringing in suspense and twist into his movies, he really brought into this movie, and I commend him. He did a very, very great job in this movie. Well, we don't expect less from Tyler Perry. He's one of the best in the industry when it comes to this kind of things. Now, to the cast of the movie, like I said earlier, we had persons like Taraji Henson, we had persons like Teyana Taylor, we had persons like Sherry Shepherd, we had Richmond Dunbar, and the rest of them. So I will take them one after the other and how their roles affected this movie. Now, Taraji Henson played the role of Janaya Wilkinson, who was a single mother to a girl of, I think, 7 years old, who had a terminal illness, and she didn't have the financial capability of taking care of that illness, based off on the fact that she was poor and she was even working 2 jobs and was living on a minimal pay. She had a lot of debts due to the girl's illness. She had her rent was due and a lot of things. So at that point in time, a lot of things were going on in her life. So she really brought out the character of a woman who is struggling to meet up to her financial needs, and she really brought. We don't expect anything less. Taraji Henson is just one of the best in the movie industry right now, and she's really killing every movie she plays a role in. And man, she did a good job in that movie. Another person that really struck my attention was Teyana Taylor, who played the role of Officer Raymond. I don't really think I've seen her in much movies, yes, but she really brought something unique to this movie. She brought soul to the movie. You know, sometimes when we watch movies or we see experiences and we just feel, I've not experienced this thing, so I cannot relate to it. But she was almost like, according to the movie, she tried to relate to the story by saying while she was young, she also had the same issue when she was 9 years old and all of the rest. But there was an extra heart to the movie, almost like someone who has experienced it while she was young in real life. So she brought the heart, you know, being an ex-negotiation officer in the military, she really poured out her heart into this movie. And I think for me, she was the one that captured my attention.
Shut
The
down all
nerves to
Wait, what?
tackle
We're going in.
the FBI.
She's
when
literally
they
coming
came in.
out. Why would we
She was
go
not scared of
in?
This has
anybody.
been going on for 12
In fact, when
hours.
she took
All
up
right?
the
Do you see
position
those
of
people?
wanting
No, do
to-
you see this?
to
They will
take the
fucking
place of the
riot. We can
negotiator,
end this
in quotes,
peacefully.
she had a lot of confidence, and that was just it for me. The moment I just saw her role in that movie, I just fell in love with her in that movie, and she did exceptionally well. Another person that stuck out for me was Sherry Shepherd. She was the one that played the role of the bank manager. The same thing, the heart. And I'm still coming to the plot of the movie, because if you see what I've said about this movie, we're seeing heart, emotions being almost like the plot of the movie itself. And it really was the binding force between the movie and the audience that have watched the movie so far. And finally, another person that really struck me was the police chief, Richmond Dunbar. He was the one that played the role of the police chief. He really did exceptionally well, giving Diana Taylor the go-ahead, like, I trust you. I trust in your capacity. Go ahead and make the negotiations. And it was really well arranged in the movie. Now, one of the things that worked for me was the plot, the arrangement of the movie. You understand? Because sometimes we watch movies and from the beginning we already know the end of the movie, but this was not in the case. The movie started from the beginning quite alright, but the beginning was like the beginning of the end of the movie, because a lot of persons did not understand the first scene of the movie when Taraji was in a dream. A lot of persons did not understand that point. It was towards the end, during the flashback, that was when a lot of persons now came. Even I'm still sure a lot of persons did not even understand why the connection between the end and the beginning. So the plot of the movie was really the scene, the arrangement of the scenes and everything was really well done. It was well detailed. Now, this movie is more of a psychologically related movie, but with a touch of emotion, which means the writer of the movie wanted both the head and the heart in the movie. He wanted us to feel the compassion in the movie, but also be able to think in the movie. Now, based on the reviews I have seen so far, it's more like a lot of persons are tilting towards the emotional part and leaving the thinking part. That was what brought this review up. I said, okay, let me just like discuss with people and let's see our reactions, our sentiments towards the psychological side and the emotional side of this movie. Now, the first sequence was the beginning, the hospital scene. She was crying, and all of a sudden she woke up in a dream and she started her day-to-day activity. That scene already was enough to capture attention to like, what's going to happen in this movie? Is there a twist to this movie? That was the first twist for me in the movie, and it made me sit back and want to watch the movie more. Now, the second scene that really grabbed my attention was the accident where the other police guy hit her car. Now, ordinarily, you would ask yourself, why this scene? Why is this police guy hitting her? But you will now end up seeing that scene come to play when she was now in the bank. Because if not for that police guy who threatened her, she would have come out early. But because of the presence of that police guy, she was scared. So it was almost like that scene was telling us that this police guy will be a nightmare to Taraji later in the movie. So the arrangement for me was very, very okay. I really loved it. The third thing that stuck out for me was the show of emotional support from her friend, from the bank manager, the realness from the cashier and those in the bank. There was some level of realness, but I'm still going to touch that, because in most cases the idea of making things seem like we have strong control over everything, it was some level of I have control over this in the movie. But sometimes in an assumed robbery case, that is not always what the case is. There's a lot of fear and panic. Now, the fourth thing that now stuck out for me was the throwback or the flashback. Because I believe the writer of the movie wanted us to understand actually what the movie was about. So the ability of the producer to bring into real life, and everybody was able to relate to it through the flashback, was something that really stuck out for me. That was some of the things that stuck out for me. But now let's go to, is this movie what the hype it is getting? A lot of persons have been giving the movie a 10 over 10, rating the movie. People have been shedding tears while watching the movie and all of the rest. But personally, I don't buy it. No, personally, it's my opinion. I don't buy it. Now, I would rather rate the movie a 7 over 10 or a 6 over 10. And here are my reasons. Now, we are dealing with people's minds. Like I said initially, we have the psychological plot and we have the emotional plot to the movie. So a lot of persons have just tilted towards the emotional plot while leaving the psychological plot out of the movie. Now, one of the things that was like a red flag to me in the movie was, number one, from the beginning of the movie, the daughter was already dead and she was living in denial. Now, she was living in denial because she didn't want to accept the fact that her daughter was dead, which means she was living her day normally. In that sense, she was normal because she was living in denial. She felt everything was still going on quite well. But where I now had some little concern in the movie was the movie now becoming impractical. For instance, guys, just let's look at it. You are in need of so much money, like in serious need for financial assistance, and you have a friend that's offering you a boost, and you insist. Now, she said her daughter needed $40 to pay for food in school, right? Now, the friend is saying, let me offer this to you. When you get your pay, you can return it back to me. But she refused. It was somehow to me, because this person is your true friend, and in the case of serious financial needs, like the movie stated, there should be because actually she was willing to go to the bank to go and collect a loan of $40. Meanwhile, she refused to collect money from her friends that was offering her that money. I don't know if you can see the rationale about it. For me, it didn't. It sounded somehow. It seemed somehow. A lot of persons would try to relate it to the psychological trauma that she was going through. But the truth is that when you are in a situation of critical need, most times, wherever help comes from, you take it. That is just the human phenomenon. Whether you are living in whatever denial or whatever psychological, so long as help comes, most times, 99% of the times, people will take it. And I don't want to believe that this case was just 1%. Then the second thing that did not really make a lot of sense to me was that now you are in need of financial assistance, man, and you have a car. Okay, let me now go back. I'm in Nigerian, and there's this mindset we have. Sorry to say, but the economic situation in Nigeria now is not the best. Now there's an adage that says you have properties not to keep them and save them, rather to use them to sort out needs. You have a car and you have a child that has serious financial needs. Man, you can sell that car and use it to sort out your child's financial needs, since you claim that the child is the most important thing in your life. Then thirdly, at the scene of the robbery where the armed robber came to meet her and the boss, for Christ's sake, your check is $521. Your boss refused to give you the money, and the criminal came, and what happened, and there was money scattered everywhere. And you need this money urgently. Why not take your 521 and go? I don't know if we're getting the rationale. Take your 521 and go. She still went there to pick the check. Thereby making the whole journey a much longer journey again. Naturally, people in that state will just, you don't want to steal, quite all right. You just take your money and go. The same thing repeated in the bank again. She went to the bank, the cashier was scared, and she just poured the money. Take your 521 and go. She still kept insisting, cash my check, cash my check, cash my check. And are we now going to attribute that to the psychological issue she was? The psychological issue she was having was just denial. She was living in denial. There was nothing that showed her that she was having a psychotic episode, or that she had brain damage, or she had dementia, or she was retarded. No, nothing of that sort. She was only living in denial. Now making denial now look like it was something of more of a mental illness. No, it didn't stick out to me. Like, it didn't appeal to me. So a lot of persons are shedding tears. You know, yeah, it's good to connect to a movie. Even the cast give us something to really run for our money. They really put in their heart into the movie. But shedding tears over the movie, it wasn't that for me. Rather, like I said, if we begin to look at it from the psychological and the emotional part, and we relate it together, then there will be some more level of understanding, rather than people shedding tears. I was on Instagram and I was seeing somebody just shedding tears. I watched this movie and I'm like, I just feel that a lot of persons are taking the tears from acrimony, the leftover tears that they shed from acrimony, and they are bringing it into this movie. My dear, there's not much to shed tears for in this movie. It just tells us the struggle of single motherhood. That was just it. The struggle of losing an only child. That was just it. It wasn't so deep to the extent that people are taking it. So guys, like I said, I rate this movie a 6 or a 7 out of a 10. And for some of us, especially my compatriots in Nigeria, that be shedding a lot of tears. But guys, are you sure these tears are from the movie? Or are you now trying to, transfer the aggression of what is going on in the country to the movie? Because a lot of people have said a lot of things about how they can connect to the movie. Yes, I don't dispute the fact that a lot of persons are going through a lot of things at the moment in the country. A lot of people are going through things, not just in the country, everywhere all over the world. But I don't think it's enough for us to begin to overhype it. I feel the movie is overhyped. You understand? So whoever is responsible for your tears, please hold that person responsible. I don't think it's Tyler Perry that is responsible for your tears. But once again, the movie is top notch. From the producer, the writer, the script, the cast, the crew, everything was wonderful. It was wonderful. And I recommend this movie to you. If you have Netflix, subscribe and watch the movie. If you don't have, just go to your Play Store or your App Store, download the app, subscribe and watch the movie. I promise you to be worth your time. So guys, if you like this, please subscribe to my channel and share this, like the video, and I will see you guys in my next video.